Yes.
Okay, great, great.
Yeah.
Mm. Good morning, one and all. I am Riya Gote. I am the moderator for today's Premier Technology and Innovation Confluence. Let us all thank Ajay Bairagi, the founder of the Business Fame magazine, for arranging and getting this live, the Premier Technology and Innovation Confluence, in association with Scriberlee. Now, this is the third edition, and it's our pleasure to host the third edition with influencers like you. This platform brings together industry pioneers, tech innovators, and business leaders to explore groundbreaking advancements in AI, IoT, and cybersecurity. As technology continues to evolve at an unpredicted pace, so does the challenges and opportunities. Today, we'll deep dive in these topics and let us see what you all have to say about it. It's my pleasure to welcome you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ria.
Hello,
Great introduction. Yeah.
thank you. So today we have Mr. Mahendra, Mr. Srinivas, and Mr. Ram. So first, I would like you guys to introduce yourself in brief, and then we can get the show rolling. Let's start with Mr. Mahendra.
Hello, everyone. This is Mahendra Krishnapatnam. I'm working as a senior architect for a leading service provider organization. I have over 19 years of IT experience with 17 years in the cybersecurity area. So I work with several Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 companies, providing consultation, work around the cybersecurity space. Yeah, I'm happy to be part of
Amazing.
this conference today.
Amazing. Welcome you, Mr. Mahendra. We are really happy to have you in the panel. Next, we have Mr. Srinivas. Hello, Srinivas. Can we hear
Hello,
from
everyone.
you?
Yeah. So I am, Richmond, Virginia, here in the States. So I'm currently working as a lead engineer in one of the leading healthcare industry. Um, Healthcare organization. So I have overall 18 years of experience in the IT industry, like specialization in design, development, and administration of software applications across like various analytical platforms such as SaaS via AWS, Hadoop, and big data, Python, and in fact multi-cloud technologies like AWS, Azure, and GCP, and and also nowadays we are working on like a lot of AI based tools. So I kind of lead huge team here and executing software architecture implementation and upgrades and all the migration strategies. And I have a very good experience in the cloud technologies and data warehousing, ETL, and all these business intelligence solutions. um yeah, so especially my whole experience is in a data and analytics space, and I have worked with multi national companies, like big industry companies like American Express and General Motors and Walmart, like in the past. So I have a wide variety of industries and wide variety of technology experience overall. So that's all about me, and happy to be here and part of this yeah, you know conference. Thank you. Yeah.
That's great to know. Amazing to know your huge experience. We are happy and it's a pleasure to have you in the panel, Mr. Srinivas. And now we have Mr. Ram.
Hi, everyone. Good morning
Hi.
and good evening. My name is Ramshekhar Bodla. I have 15 years of experience in enterprise asset management. I started my career as system admin back in India, and then I became a developer for Ford Motor Companies, and then I moved to States, and now I'm working for a railroad company called Amtrak. So I'm with Amtrak from last 10 years. Now I'm a subject matter expert in enterprise asset management. So I work with business users and the developers So basically, I'm like a liaison. I deal with the real time problems day to day. I work with users, gather their requirements, and design the solution. So which is feasible in out of box application. So we deal so real time safety issues. So we have to maintain the tracks every day, inspect the tracks every day in order to have a safe travel for the passengers. So it's 24 by 7 safety related stuff I do at Amtrak. We mostly deal with AI and IoT devices because we there are so many sensors connected to the track assets all across the US. So they take too many readings and data every day. So we take the data into AWS Lake and we analyze the data and find out any defects or anomalies, and we create incidents or service requests to make sure there is no threat to the track and to make sure safe travel to the passengers. And I'm very excited to be part of this conference. Uh, Good luck to everyone. Thank you.
That's amazing to know, Mr. Ram. It's a pleasure to have you as well for this panel. So let me shoot the questions now. I'm so excited to hear from you all about AI, IoT, and the evolution of cyber threats. My first question goes to Mr. Mahendra, and I would like to ask you, how are AI and IoT converging to introduce new cybersecurity challenges?
Sure, sure. Yeah, my pleasure to talk about that topic. So, with whole of my or majority of my experience is coming from the healthcare industry clients and working for them. I look up into digging through their business systems, the healthcare systems, and their devices, and then analyzing that, and then coming up with some of the best security solutions to protect them from cyber attacks. So off late, with the evolution of the AI and more devices are using the IoT kind of world, there is definitely a challenge as well as the benefit that is coming out of it. Um, First and foremost is this the IoT devices, which are pretty old usually, and they're outdated, and sometimes the firmware or the softwares are not updated, and they come also with some basic passwords, so the default password. So it's not really there up to the advanced methods. And with respect to the AI, um, this can be applicable for the IoT devices as well as for the web applications or any kind of enterprise applications per se. So both of these coming together, it gives us a really a challenging atmosphere to make sure all the devices that are accessed by the enterprises users or workforce users are the customers accessing them in a authorized fashion. And if I'm not wrong, there are almost 60 to 70 billion devices that are being used in the worldwide today. And how many of them are actually using the advanced methods to protect them from the AI or the cyber attacks? Well, that's a question. So we'll talk about it, and then maybe sometime about the next steps. Yeah.
Yeah. Superb. I am eager to know more about it, especially the stats which you shared at the end. Uh, Great, Mahendra. My next question is for Srinivas. How can AI enhance threat detection within IoT networks?
Uh,
I'm I'm sorry, I was talking on mute. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a great question, Ria. I mean, as the internet, like IoT, right? I mean, Internet of Things, like continues to expand and connecting everyone from basically like factory missions to home appliances. So the security challenge grow in, in parallel. Today, like, we'll see intelligence can act as like an early warning system and identifying and neutralizing the threats hidden within the complex network of connected devices. So whether it is detecting unusual patterns in a smart factory, or safeguarding the privacy of everyday users, AI-driven threat detection is quickly becoming an kind of critical layer of defense of entire infrastructure, IT infrastructure, or any smart infrastructure basically. So if you ask me, like, a AI-driven analytics can sift through enormous volume of IoT data, like yes, he said, like, we have a 70 billion of devices that is actually collecting and producing the IoT data, right? I mean, it's a huge, enormous volumes of data. So I can't think without AI enablement. Like, and it's I feel like it's impossible to detect the abnormalities and anomalies in the data. So AI, I mean, basically, like, AI helps. So, like, a faster than any traditional security systems, like, identifying the, as I said, like, abnormalities and suspicious behavior of a real-time data. So, as an example, right, in industrial IoT sectors, like sensors controlling the assembly lines and abnormal network traffic patterns. If any small malware infiltrates mission controllers, it's gone. It's gone. So AI algorithms can detect those sudden spikes and automatically isolate these compromised devices to protect the entire system. So it's, if you ask me, like, it's like in a traditional way of protecting the system, it's very highly impossible based on considering the huge amount of IoT devices, enormous data, IoT data. So the passive possible solutions, if you ask me, like, what we are talking in our in our organization, or in million entire industry, right? So everybody talking about AI models. So what we are kind of you know making them in a multi-diversified strategy, like a basically, I work in a data and analytics. So, like, it's a very, we have a lot of PHI and PI data we deal with every day. So we wanted to kind of find out if anything that is happening, like, beyond the normal regular usage of data, or any abnormalities or anomaly that we. So what we are trying to figure it out, at what every industry, actually every organization should do, is like a behavioral anomaly detection. So, like, what it means is, like, train AI models on a normal operational data from all IoT devices that are connected to your business, or your organization, or your industry, and from all IoT endpoints, and flag anomalies to secure the teams for security teams for investigation. That is one thing. That's another thing is, you know when you find something, right, how do you, like, respond to that? That's where, like, another challenge is, like, by the time you realize something is happening, boom, your data will be gone, or you're breached. So 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 we, since we have a lot of AI enabled platforms available now, and what we can do is, like, an automated incident response, like, deploy AI enabled platforms that not just only detect the threats, but also executing the preliminary containment, right? I mean, that's network segmentation, drive, device quarantine. So, like, if you identify one particular device, okay, that could be the culprit for this, that's upcoming security threat. Just immediately quarantine that part, or that segmentation of network or that device. That's the one thing. And also, like, we have not just at the server side, we also, like, need to think about that machine learning at the edge devices, like, run some kind of lightweight AI models and edge devices to detect threats, like, even when connectivity to the central server system is limited. Still, threats are, say, breach can happen on the endpoints as well. So we also have to think that some lightweight AI models to be deployed on the IoT devices to identify any suspicious activity from those devices. So that's those three kind of ways that we can really deal with the AI enable technologies to deal with the threats and malware and ransomware attacks. And in short, like isn't just AI is not just another add-on; it's a powerful ally of in securing the IoT ecosystems against ever evolving cyber threats. So by integrating intelligence at every stage from sensor level to all cloud-based analytics, we can reduce downtime, prevent data loss, and you know secure the system and prevent the data breaches and enhance overall system reliability. So yeah, leveraging AI as a proactive threat detection will be key for unlocking a full promise of safe and smart connected world. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, I was intrigued by the details you were sharing. That was amazing, Srinivas. My next question is for Mr. Ram. If you could talk about what role does machine learning play in countering modern cyber attacks?
Yeah. Thank you, Ria, for the question. I believe AI and machine learning plays a pivotal role fighting against cyber attacks. By by responding, by detecting and applying some preventive mechanisms. So these tools can prevent the cyber attacks. So there are several ways. So we can use AI and MI tool, like for example, like spotting unusual activity, finding malware and ransomware in the network, blocking phishing emails, uh, detecting frauds in transaction, and observing the login user behavior. So there are several ways we can use these tools to fight against the cyber attacks. Let's talk about spotting some unusual activities. So AI and machine learn can scan the large volume of data in second and find out unusual activity which is happening in the network and data, and it can prevent those kind of activities immediately. It can trigger a mechanism to block the user access permanently or temporarily, and can alert the security system to investigate the issue there. And there is another way, detecting frauds in transaction. So nowadays everything is digitized, so we use credit cards everywhere, wherever we go for all the transactions, so we use cards only. So there is a nice concept called geofencing. Let's say, for example, I told my bank I'm going to trip to Florida. So my bank already knows that today, I mean, from this time to this time, I will be in Florida. But if my bank uh, finds a transaction which happens outside the Florida, it's a red flag. So these tools can identify the location of the transaction, and immediately it can detect it is a threat. I mean, so the user details were stolen and somebody is trying to scam. So these tools can quickly act by using the concept called geofencing and prevent the financial fraud. So similarly, by observing the user behavior. So we know that so and so user logs in every day morning and he works from 8 to 5. But let's say suddenly he logs at night 12 o'clock. So it's like an unusual behavior. So doesn't generally this user doesn't log in at night. So it's like an unusual activity. These tools can immediately find out, okay, something is happening. So it can raise an alarm and it can temporarily uh, deactivate the user access and alert the user saying that, okay, your account is being used so and so location, so and so time, take a look. So these tools can act very actively and try to find out all the cyber attacks. And so we can also talk about some automated threat responses. So generally, by using these tools, we can find out the unusual activity, and we can also enable them to deactivate the user access and let the security team knows. So there are several ways we can use AI and machine learning tools to prevent the cyber attacks in this real world.
That is a must because with the growing use of machine learning, AI, and stuff, I think it is really important we have such things to avoid threats and cyber attacks as well. Amazing. I am so loving these conversations. My next question is for Mr. Mahendra. How are cyber criminals exploiting vulnerabilities in IoT devices?
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, this is in continuous to my previous data points that these IoT devices are a bit outdated and they were using not updated firmwares, and they were also using default passwords. And literally, if you see these IoT devices such as this refrigerators or smart switches or so television sets or anything like that, these do not come with any proper security controls, and they are not also going to come with some secure protocols. So if you look at the latest industry protocols for security, such as FIDO2 or the passkeys or passwordless authentication for phishing attacks and all, so these IoT systems doesn't come out of the box with that functionality. Besides that, these systems are also not built in with any specific virus proofing mechanisms or cyber proofing mechanisms. Okay, and there are different type of things that we could do to protect such IoT devices. One is to upgrade those systems to the latest softwares and modern trends, and to support that open standard protocols such as SAML or WAT or WIDC, so that we can put a wrapper of additional security layers on top of this using some AI technologies. And we would also need to make sure that the networking layer around these IoT devices has to be secured as well. So we can employ certain network security such as WAF firewalls and so on. And there is the common security issue with IoT devices, the DDoS attacks, which is the distributed denial of service attacks. So these devices are very prone to such devices, and employing AI based or at least bringing them up to the modern standards and modern protocols, which are industry supported protocols, and then applying, and then it's easy to apply additional security controls there for authorized access only.
Amazing. That was some unique perspective. Thank you so much. My next question is for Srinivas. Hello, Srinivas again. The question is, how is the evolution of cyber threats impacting global digital infrastructure?
Yeah, thank you, Riya. I mean, it's a great question, right? I mean, as digital systems become the kind of backbone for everything from international finance to healthcare. So cyber threats have rapidly evolved in scope and sophistication. Today, like if you look at the right, I mean, the cascading effect of these modern attacks have on our global digital infrastructure, and we need to tackle them, and it requires a coordinated resilience efforts across industries and nations, if you ask me. So that's more important, like cyber threats, especially state sponsored attacks and sophisticated ransomware, are growing more and elaborate targeting critical infrastructure, like the financial networks and power grids and potential with the potential disrupt to the entire regions or specific industry. For example, if you take an example, right? I mean, I saw a few years ago, like in somewhere in 2021 or something, like a ransomware assault forced to temporary shutdown of major oil pipelines. It's a causing a gas shortage, and it's almost disrupt the entire global trade. So this demonstrated how a single breach can cascading effects on the broader economy and in the global trade. So it's so what I'm trying to say is like um, it's cyber threats with evolving AI tools. Cyber threats are impacting global digital infrastructure in a short span, in the blink of an eye, and it's completely shuts down the entire infrastructure in a seconds. So what we could do, I mean, you know, kind of cross-border collaboration. Governments and private sector should share threat intelligence to quickly identifying and neutralize the high level cyber threats. That's one of the key thing. It's not something that okay, I'm safe today doesn't mean that you're safe and you just get away with that by doing some kind of temporary fix. No, I mean we need to share. It has to be cross border collaboration between private or government or any other sectors, and also like this risk assessment and the resilience planning. Regularly evaluate the vulnerabilities in the infrastructure system, especially when we are talking about digital infrastructure now. So vulnerabilities are very plays a key role in keeping the system up and running. I mean, it's like helping the attacks, because we need to regularly evaluate these vulnerabilities in the infrastructure system, like anywhere, like utilities, transportation, anywhere, and maintain the robust backup and recovery capabilities. If something happens, we just need to switch off the existing system and bring up the DDR, disaster recovery infrastructure, back into an action and fix the other system like quick and as fast as we can, and recover the whole capabilities. That is another thing. And second thing is like what sorry third thing is like what I feel is like a public and private partnership. I believe in the growing landscape of AI and the security threats. And so what I believe, we need to kind of every organizations and countries need to establish a framework for real-time data sharing between state agencies and critical industries, so for enabling the faster coordination and response. So overall, like evolving cyber threats and just kind of, it's not like inconvenience, they're just reshaping the stability and reliability of our global digital framework. So by prioritizing collaborative security strategies, I mean collaborative security strategies, quote unquote, right? That is important, and staying agile in our defensive approach, so we can safeguard our interconnected systems, like through interconnected system that drive the entire world forward. Yeah, hope that makes sense.
Uh, yeah, that definitely makes sense. And I do agree with the framework thing which you talked about. Uh, just a small question here, because the cross-border thing which you were talking about, that was a completely new perspective. I mean, that was something new which I heard about. But do you really think that would work?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's not about if you keep the political geopolitical things aside, the business is business, right? I mean, nowadays mostly like intelligence of every country works, right? If this country is sees something or suspects something, a person or some kind of organization or some kind of threat, definitely they are communicating with other country intelligence.
Yeah.
So they are, if they are informing the other countries or other nations like a security intelligence that hey, this is what we are seeing something. It could be a threat, and we know that that is happening in the behind the scenes in terms of national security thing. In the same way, it's nothing less than that. The cyber security and cyber threats are also nothing less than the national security. I mean, if
Mhm.
something is really disrupt your business back in India, and some banking sector is like really impacted, and then government and the banks should work and share the data, not the data, share that the insights, or share that finding their findings to the other countries. I mean, that way, like everybody will be in safe hands. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what my kind of it's like my view. But if that happens, that's good. And sometimes like the state sponsored malware attacks are happening that we cannot do anything. But at least the way that we can protect our systems and our trade and our trades and our business, we need to have that kind of framework. That's my personal you know view.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. It was great. Thank you so much, Srinivas. My next question is for Mr. Ram. Let's discuss some best practices. So my question to you is, what best practices should be implemented to secure interconnected devices?
Yeah, so we can follow many good practices. I'll talk about some of them, like control access to the devices and protect networks and data, keep everything up to date by following these security standards, and monitor for defects, monitor for threats continuously, and be ready to respond to the threats. So let's talk about the control access to the device. Like, we have to enforce strong rules for password, setting up a password on a device, and implement multi-factor authentication, and keep the device. I mean, like, for example, if the user is not using the device for a certain period of time, make it inactive. Because, so let's say if the device is not online, so the device cannot download all the company related antivirus or security stuff. So at one point of time, that particular device can be vulnerable to your company and the network. So by incorporating those kind of rules, so you can keep these devices protect. So that's something related to access. And the other one is protect networks and the data. So make sure you always encrypt the data and use VPNs to transfer the data between the devices, and always up to date, just like human beings, how we take our vaccines and flu shots. So make sure your devices are always up to date to your company security related standards. And and in sometimes in worst case we have to be ready to respond to the threats. So we have to do some mock drills how we have to respond in case if there's a threat happen. So we always have to come up with our preventive action and also our post action plans. And always we have to follow the security standards whenever we deploy any applications, AI related applications on these interconnected devices. So we have to make sure every application is developed by following the strict compliance rules your company is following. Yeah. So those are all the things. If we could follow, we can make sure our device is secure to the cyber threats.
Definitely. Uh, Thank you so much, Mr. Ram. Moving on with Mr. Mahendra. My question to you is, how are advancements in AI reshaping the cybersecurity landscape?
Oh, sure. Um, Definitely, if we look at how the AI is evolving, right from the point you access the application in a network, in a company-owned network, or from your private network, and or from public network, and into authenticating to the platform, and into gaining access to the platform, and then using the data within the application, and then accessing multiple applications from one particular application. So it's all cascading effect of the overall AI that is interlinked. Sorry, no, yes. So yeah. So right from the networking perspective, we could start with protecting the networking layer. So one of the best practices that have been followed in the latest years is adapting to the zero trust security model, which is taking out or assuming that your company network is the most trusted network and your public network is the untrusted network. So there is no such concept anymore. So every network is unsafe, and trust no one and authenticate everyone and always monitor. So this is basically the fundamentals of a zero trust, and this is what we should actually be starting with for adapting into the AI models. And what it means is, let's say you are actually trying to access a network application from your office network or from your public network. It is going to impose some security rules based on your previous authentication patterns. So we can build that AI models and all based on where the user is coming from, the IP of the request, and how many times has this user actually accessed in the past. And there are certain parameters like user velocity, the IP velocity, and any sort of a geolocation networks or blacklisted IPs, blacklisted networks, and so on. So these are different type of parameters that's available. So we can start with applying these AI models into the zero trust security to start at the network layer. And then coming into the authentication layer, whether the application is using the typical or the standards like form authentication with username and password, or if it could be using some passwordless authentication, is 5 by passkeys or um, the UDF2 keys. We have to make sure that these AI models are also looking at the real-time threat patterns happening for that application and also from the user perspective. So the next one is the prevention. So any such attacks that is happening, we should use this AI models. So, for example, if you look at the AI models like the RNN, recurrent neural networks, or the concurrent neural networks, with the use of with the combination of autoencoders and the transformers, these are all constitute to the real-time prevention of the cyber threats at the authentication layer as well. And most of the times these concept may not need to be embedded into the application, but there are already tools available in the market that comes up with this set of implementations. However, if a particular product is not licensed by the organization, then we can definitely adapt these security models through coding practices, best coding practices. So that is at the prevention layer. And at the monitoring layer, so there are a lot of monitoring that are real-time threat-based monitorings that we can also do. And the event-based monitors as such. For example, some tools like a Splunk or Dynatrace, they're actually acting or capturing the data in the real time for any sort of applications. So if it's application that is supported by those platforms, well, it is very easy enough to adapt. But for custom applications, we can always leverage some sort of APIs to adapt to call those and capture those events in the real time. And then that can be used as a base for writing some AI-based scripts to trigger some notifications and taking preventive actions. So these are some of the 360 degrees angles that we can look at for using the AI methods.
Yeah, thank you so much for shedding light on this and giving us the entire perspective. Uh, my next question is for Srinivas. How can businesses prepare for the next generation of cyber attacks?
Riya, can you repeat the question, please?
Yes, sure.
I'm sorry.
Sure.
Yeah.
No problem. How can businesses prepare for the next generation of cyber attacks?
Oh, yeah, that's a very good question. Yeah. So thank you. Apologies for asking. My
No
speaker was
problem
very
at all.
good. Thank you. Yeah. So when it comes to the preparation for next generation of cyber attacks, right? I mean, as technology accelerates and cyber criminals adopt new tactics, often using like AI and automation. So business face continually shifting continually shifting threat landscape today. Like right? I mean, strategies for staying ahead of these evolving threats, focusing on how to strengthen defenses like train employees, integrate cutting edge security solutions to protect against next wave of cyber attacks. Like future cyber attacks will leverage AI and automated tools and the new exploits. Business must embrace proactive strategies and advanced technologies and an informed workforce for sure. So, I mean, not only the businesses or organizations are adapting a new AI tools and techniques, but also like cyber criminals are acting way faster than actually industries adopting the new technologies. That's a kind of a little scary thing. So definitely we'll have to kind of have a very sophisticated and advanced approach to tackle all these cyber attacks. Um, and an example, right? I mean, attackers can use AI to generate personalized phishing emails at large scale and drastically, increasing the success rate of a particular person, and make other opponent can lose the race. I mean, it's just it's a kind of lot of phishing emails. I mean, these implies the people might receive a deceptively genuine looking email, referencing that recent project, tricking them into divulging sensitive data. So we should be very cautious. I mean, see, in order to tackle all these things, right? I mean, I think as Mahendra pointed out, very good point, like zero trust architecture. So it's very very important, as he said, like no system that is you can say that it's just, safe now. So unless you really implement how Mahendra said, like a zero trust architecture, adapt policies for where all users, devices, and applications must continuously validate their identity before getting into the network. So that's a very very good point. Like, and I like that point. I like that idea. And on top of it, right? I mean, AI defense, AI driven, like enabling AI enabled defense, like utilizing AI for dynamic policy enforcement and adaptive threat detection, augment existing security information, like and event management solutions with machine learning. So that is another one thing that you can leverage AI to tackle these things and dynamically. And also other thing is, like in every business has to allocate some funding or budget or some kind of bring the experts into the industry and provide some security training and culture. So like employees should be equipped with up-to-date cybersecurity knowledge, because you know some one thing, but you may not learn 100 things, right? I mean, so that training really helps. Like whoever is experts in the industry, like they should bring them into the industry and business, and then train all the employees and what to look and what is look like a genuine email. And employees should be able to identify those threat emails and and quickly respond to those incidents. So that's one thing. Like a they have to do it like a frequent drills and kind of phishing simulations. The phishing simulations, you can security team itself can send in some phishing emails and see how the employees are really trained. And continuous learning ensures staff remain the first line of response. Like an employee is the first line of response, because no one knows until you really the system is breached. So the employee is the one, like who gets attacked first, because like it's easy to attack, easy to target. So they send an email, like some kind of tempting email or some offer email, some deal email, and boom, you open it, it's gone. So that's the security is a very very key thing, on top of AI enablement and zero trust architecture, and security training is important, and also incident response planning. So company organization should maintain the detailed and frequent tested plan. I mean, a regularly tested plan that outlines rules, procedures, communication, channels, ensuring like swift, organized response to the emerging threats. So I mean, overall, right, in conclusion, preparing for the next generation of cybersecurity requires a holistic approach, like leveraging advanced analytics, prioritizing proactive risk assessment, and fostering a culture of cybersecurity awareness. So, I mean, by kind of embracing these measures today, business can not only mitigate the current threats, but also establish like robust foundation to adapt and respond effectively to whatever tomorrow's cyber challenges may bring. So yeah, I mean, overall, like AI pivotal role in detecting, responding threats, and increasing complexity IO environments, right? IoT environments. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I hope that makes sense. Yeah, thank you.
It
Yeah.
does. It definitely does. Thank you so much for shedding light on this topic. It was amazing to hear from you. And my last question for today is
Okay.
to Mr. Ram,
Yeah, that.
and the
Okay.
question is,
Yeah.
what regulatory measures are necessary to address AI and IoT related cyber risks?
Hey, thank you, Ria. Definitely, it's a great question. I'm going to repeat some of the points which were already discussed by Srinivas. So we need regulatory measurements for all these AI and ML tools. For example, we need a stronger data protection laws and transparency and accountability. We need the risk assessment and testing, standard security measurements for all the IoT devices, and we need a global cooperation. And we also require the multiple levels of approval for any deployments. So let's talk about the data protection laws. So all AI manufacturing companies has to disclose how these devices use the personal and sensitive data. So this should be transparent. And 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 also, so all these manufacturers has to be in public how their devices taking decisions on the personal data, and they also have to make sure human intervention is required while taking any critical decisions, and they should be accountable for in case of any harm caused by these IoT devices. And also it requires multiple levels of authentication for any deployments. So I'll explain this with one funny movie scene. So we all aware of the Robo movie. So the heroic city becomes a villain at the end of the movie. So for anything, we should not be rely on one point of authorization or command. So we need multiple levels of security and authorization. So we should not allow anybody to deploy these things in cloud-based systems. So there should be a chain of command to verify the things, what kind of technology and IoT and AI is using, and what kind of data protection laws these applications are using, and how frequently these devices are up to date with the security and with the trends. So as Srin was mentioned, so these scammers are more knowledgeable than the regular professionals. So their motive is to steal something. So they're always in upper hand. So we have to be up to date to counterpart those actions. And also we have to do the risk assessment. So for like any software development, so we do a lot of risk assessment. The same thing we have to follow here. So before deploying anything, any tools by using AI, so they have to do complete end-to-end risk assessment for security related stuff. And uh, so now the cyber threats are global. So uh, everyone has to work each other to make a standardized rules for these cyber attacks, and the global interaction is required in this case. So those are my points about the regulation
Uh,
related to
uh,
the AI and IoT
that
devices. Yeah.
That was great to hear from you. Especially, I love the example which you quoted about the movie Robot. I think, yes, there should be a limit to everything, like boundaries to even AI. It won't go beyond our control. So, as they say, we can control, like we should always control the AI, not AI should not control the humans. I mean, we should definitely focus on that as well. As we come to the close of this insightful and engaging Premier Technology and Innovation Conference organized by the Business Fame magazine in association with Scriberlee, I would like to thank each one of you. Before I share the vote of thanks, I would like to it would be my pleasure to announce that Mr. Ajay has recently turned into an author, and he recently published his book Oops, Too Much Noise, and it is amazing book. I recently finished reading it. It is all about how we can empower each other to grow in our businesses and work as well. So the external noise should not affect us. And at the end of the day, what matters is the clarity we have gained about ourselves, the courage we take to fulfill our dreams, the way we communicate with people around, and at the end of the day, confidence is the best jewelry which we can wear. Congratulations, Ajay, for your book. And
Yeah, congratulations,
wi-
Ajay.
Thank you so
so,
much.
Congratulations, Ajay.
uh, yeah, so Ajay and I together, we have come up with this initiative. So, I am a writer since past 8 years, and we have come up with this thing, a book writing challenge, wherein we would be supporting you to write your book uh, within 21 days. And we are in tie-up with the second best publishing house in India, Singapore, and Dubai. And the book would be published in 150 plus countries. If you want any more information, you can connect with Ajay, and it would be a pleasure to discuss more about this. Uh, Ajay and I, we both have launched our books this year, and it was immense pleasure to also help 7 entrepreneurs to write their book as ghost author and to publish it in the market. And the books are about AI, IoT, machine learning. With
Congratulations,
this,
both of
I
you then. Yeah.
thank you. With this, I would like to thank each one of you for your time and for spreading light on AI, IoT, and cyber threats as well. It was a lot of information for us today. Thank you for sharing the knowledge, and uh, we make sure to spread the knowledge as well. And at the end of the day, we'll definitely are here to make you unique and uh, inscribe your stories as well. Thank you, each one of you. I wish you all the best and God bless you. Thank you again. Thank you, Ajay,
Thank you,
for
everyone.
hosting this.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you,
all.
everyone.
Thank
Have a
you so
great
much.
rest of the day and our
Yeah,
weekend.
thank you very much for the great opportunity, Ajay. Thank you, Riya. Have a good
Thank
night.
you. Good
Thank you,
night.
Ajay. Thank you, Ria. Thank you.
Most
Thank
welcome.
you.